Welcome to Let's Cook That Book. My name is Pierrick from Reverie Cafe and Desserts based in Friands, and we're opening very shortly in Doncaster, Westfield Shopping Centre, and in the CBD between Elizabeth and La Trobe. Today we are making the Friands or financiers. So I'll be starting with the butter because we need to do hazelnut butter, which means like caramelized or burnt butter. So we're starting with this. And it will take a few minutes because it needs to melt and to develop the flavor. That's what we call it in French, beurre noisette. Yeah, and I'm getting the strainer, so like this, if there's any burn particles, it's not going into the recipe. So I will start with putting a little bit of butter on the molds because they're beautiful mold tefal, but just to make sure, and it's easier to unmold when it's baked. That's if you don't have butter, because you use all your butter for your recipe, a little bit of olive oil will do the trick as well. So hazelnut butter, it's not something that you might not be familiar, but in French pastry making, that's something that, especially for financier or friand, is one of the base. So you can see that all the casein, all the fat content of the butter goes on top, and it will take, depending on your induction, how strong it is. It's only 75 grams of butter, but it can take to 5 minutes to roughly 10 minutes. Make sure that when it's started to boil and all the little bubbles are very small, it's cooking pretty well. So make sure that you stick around and you check what's going on in there. In the meantime, in the bowl here, I will put the almond meal. I'm gonna pass it through. So if you have some hazelnut meal or macadamia meal, it will work really well. Like I say often, at home you are the chef. So if you want to substitute a product for another one that's roughly, it's from the same family or same texture, that works really well. So there's a bit of particle there. I'm gonna flip it back in there because it's all good. It's just some almond meal that is a little bit thicker, and it's totally fine. Icing sugar. It's always good to make sure that there's no lumps of sugar. See, I'm doing two things at once. It might be unusual for a man to be multitask, but yes, there's a few around. All right, perfect. So now it's icing sugar. Then next is the flour and baking and salt. I'm actually in love with those. They are so good and very versatile. Really, really like them. And the salt. Perfect. All right. The butter is almost done. As I can see that some of the casein started to caramelize. It's perfect. So you don't want it to be overly caramelized. That's going to bring you some flavor, which is good, but it's very crucial and it's very easy as well to burn it. So today we're going to play it safe. And here it is. And as you can see, all the burnt particles are in there, and that's what you want. So I'm keeping this whisk because this one is a bit harder. It's great to have those whisks as well, but those one works really well for whipping the cream, doing a meringue, which this one, it will actually make it easier when you whip something liquid, and this one are better for like harder batter. All right, and now I'm putting my egg whites. So it's quite a quick recipe to make. And if you make extra, have them in your fridge or freezer and defrost them and it's like a quick little snack, so for the lunchbox, or which, like we have a daughter and she's 16 months old at the moment, but I would like to know what she eats as well. Of course, we buy some other food, but it's always good to bake with your family and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. Here it is. So now I will be using this to make sure that everything is nicely scraped all around and inside. I actually have one of those at home, that exact color, and it's really good. I'm quite impressed with it. So now that's my favorite tool in the kitchen. All right, so I will need to get the piping bags, and I can pipe it inside. It can be really tricky with those piping bags. So the little tips is do not overfill them. Like for one like this to that size, no more than there. Why? Because you really have to lock in with your finger, just like this, and to twist it. Then you can do something else. So in that, I will cut the tip of the piping bag. So not too small, not too large, because it's liquid. So it's basically a little bit over the half, like 60% filled up. Because after we're gonna put some frozen fruits. If you want to have them as plain, that's fine. But I like to have a little bit of frozen berries to it, so it brings a little bit of acidity and a bit of moisture. All right, now we have some frozen berries. Love those little pink knives. So I cut it in half, so it's not a big chunk of fruit. Otherwise, it would be a little bit more difficult for the friands to bake properly. I'll put a blueberry as well. And some of the fruit most likely will sunk into the batter when it's baking. So if the fruit is a little bit bigger, just cut them in 4. Here it is. Now it's going to the oven, around 160 to 165 and around 20 minutes. Again, depend on the oven. Some ovens are a lot stronger than others. So when you do a recipe for the first time, always double check. You know your oven better than anyone else. Always double check. Then after, take some notes on your recipe, so you know that next recipe will be better and the one after even better, and after it's perfect. All right, the friands are baked. Showtime. Whoa, look at that. It's hot. Voila. I will put sugar on half of them. Personally, I like to eat things with less sugar, but it looks better. So that's why it's a little bit, we're gonna have best of both worlds. Even at the shop, I don't put icing sugar on the hazelnut croissants. I think it looks better, but I think people as well these days are more cautious on eating less sugary. Ooh, it tastes really good. So exciting. And voila, some easy, simple berry friands, and voila, and enjoy. Oh my God, hashtag sexy.